I'll start answering. Yeah, so my recording has started. So the first question you asked was let me check it. The first question is, do I have to tailor my CV every time I want to apply for a position? The answer is yes and no. Please, anytime you're not hearing me, please just type in the chat. So do I have to tailor my CV every time I have to applying for a position? The answer is yes and no. Yes, if the job offers are wildly different. So, for example, if maybe the first job you applied for was for an admin position, and you want to make sure that CV is tailored, you want to talk about things you have done that qualify you in that space. So if you've done, maybe you've done admin, you've done security work, for example, you've been a caterer, you've been a receptionist. You can add the receptionist work to the admin because it's kind of related, right? But you know that caterer and security is quite far-fetched, right? So I'm going to use myself as an example. I am an engineer. That's my day job. My my most of my experience is in engineering, but I also do sell real estate. So it's very difficult to marry the two of them. Also, I write. I'm a writer. So those they are like three different. They are not really related, right? So if I put a CV out that says, "Oh, I'm an engineer. By the way, I also sell real estate. Oh, and by the way, I write." My CV is cluttered, and there's no clarity. So what should I do instead in that space? So that's where the no comes in. If I'm applying for engineering roles, let's say today I'm applying as a process engineer, tomorrow I'm applying as a technical safety engineer. They are still related. I can still have transferable skills from my technical engineer, safety engineering experience into process engineering or vice versa. So in that case, I don't have to tailor my CV. I can keep the same experience that I've had in engineering broadly, or I'm applying to be an engineering manager. I can keep all my engineering experience and have one CV that I usually, but the only thing is that in that particular case, you want to write a cover letter. And so in your cover letter, you want to cover the experience that is very, very, very tailored to the job you're applying for. And then you can maintain that seat. But, and I've had to do that recent times. If I want to apply to do something in the real estate space, I'm better off tailoring my CV. I take out all my engineering experience and I focus on, for example, what I've done in the real estate space. And it may not be a lot of experience. And if there's any transferable skills I want to bring from my engineering experience, then yes, in that particular case, I can pull anything I feel that is applicable into that. And that's when I can then say that, okay, it will not be exactly the same CV as what I submitted as an engineer, but I'm able to pull my skills, things that I can transfer from having worked as a, let's say, as a technical safety engineer. Let's say I've organized workshops and I know that in this real estate space I want to go into, that skill of organizing workshops is still useful. Then in that case, I would also pull that. But when I'm writing about my experience as a technical safety engineer, I'll focus only on the workshops I have facilitated or I have organized because it is applicable in that field. So it's not a yes or no, it depends. And that's why it's usually good to have, at least at the beginning, like a career coach that will coach you. So you'd see this offer you want to apply. Okay, let's look at it. What do you think you can do? Or let's see if you can pull this experience from here. This one should be able to work. But by the time you get used to doing it, by reason of use, you also begin to be able to, feel your way and say, okay, this one, I don't need to use write all of this experience. A two-pager is okay for this. But if you're asking to be a director in an organization, in that case, it may be useful for you to show that you have touched different places, for example, and so your experience is wide and varied. So there may be value in showing that you have a wide range of experience, but on the average, focus on what will help you on the job you're applying for. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It does.
All right. So I'm going to move to the next question because of time. So the next question is there anything you can do better with regards to your CV? Yes, I sent you a list of things you can do to optimize. And I would recommend that you work on that. And then there are some apps that you can also download. Many of them are paid for, where you put in your CV and they will give you like a score of how good. But I also say there are also some prompts you can use on ChatGPT, apart from downloading the apps. There are some prompts that when you put them in, ChatGPT will review your CV and will tell you these are the areas of improvement. So what I usually like to recommend for people to do is to first of all go through those prompts, get the CV to a place where you feel is good enough. Then you can then go and pay for the apps. And so there was one that when I was going to apply for a master's degree, and the school actually had applied, I paid part of my tuition, and the school um because a part of their value added service was that they got us this one of these apps and we were to put our CVs in and help us set our CVs up so that we will be employable after school. I didn't go forward with the master's degree because life sweet, but I felt that was a good value add and it was upfront. And so I think when I passed my first CV, I think I was at 58% or maybe 40 something percent. But when that app analyzes your CV, it will then tell you these are the things you need to do better. And then you go work on them, you highlight text. And you know that I shared quite a lot of things with you on how you can optimize. So I would recommend that you do that. Then when you finish with that, you can go again. I would, like I told you before, you get free 15 minutes consultation with me. If you want me to support you in getting your CV optimized, you probably need to pay some for for additional services, but there are things you can do by yourself as well. But if you feel like you need help, my time is not free after 15 minutes. And so that's I think with ChatGPT is relatively free. You just have to spend data. You get the prompts. If you go online and ask for prompts, ChatGPT prompts to update my CV, you get quite a number of prompts, and you use them. You optimize your CV. Then, if you want, you can pay for an app to help you. There are people online that also help with CV optimization, so it's a white space. So your last question was, are there other job boards other than LinkedIn? The answer is yes. And yes for Nigerian opportunities and even externally. The only thing is that LinkedIn is would I say a bit broader, but sometimes it feels like it's rigged against people, right? And I have got international opportunities actually from LinkedIn, but not only LinkedIn. So there's this other one called Indeed.com because I wanted to go to Canada at the time. So I knew I wanted a job. So I got my CV on Indeed.com. I'm giving you that for free. There are others. You need to spend some time to find those as well. So Indeed.com was one that I went on. I put my CV and I'm in the oil and gas space. So there are other job boards as well for people in the oil and gas space. So depending on what your industry is, there are job boards that are tailored. But the important thing, the first step is to make sure that your CV is optimized. Because I got an opportunity on LinkedIn Someone reached out to me on LinkedIn to ask me for and that's how I got my current job. It was from LinkedIn. Someone reached out, but I'd seen the job offer elsewhere. But the recruiter also said and found me on LinkedIn and sent me a DM because I started filling out the application when I saw it. But I was just like, these people, they are not serious. They're always, that's how they're always asking for people. So I had abandoned it. But when I asked the recruiter that, how did you find me? He said he did a keyword search on LinkedIn, and that's how he found me. So it wasn't because of the application I started. So that's why it's important that you optimize your CV, because even on the LinkedIn that people are saying, oh, you don't get a lot, recruiters are still finding people using keywords. So that's why it's important for you to optimize your CV. And so that's just one of the very few. LinkedIn is still can still be used, but you have to optimize your CV. All the other job boards you want to go to, if you don't optimize your CV, you will feel the same way you feel about LinkedIn, that oh, you don't get anything from it. So the issue is not really the job board. The issue is the optimization of the CVs. Is your CV optimized? That's where I will pause and then let you speak for you have 2 minutes.
Yeah, thank you. Um,